You residents will have the opportunity to chime in on the conversation. It's never been done before. See how many of you are ballsy enough to actually comment in a real life. Nigerian university students ordered to leave the UK after their country's currency plummeted. If you guys don't know, the currency, which in Nigeria is Naira, and it has now gone to £5 to 10,000 Naira. Now that might not mean anything to you if you're not a Nigerian, but that is severely bad. When I was in school, it was £1 to 250 Naira, and it has gone down so badly. And I blame the politicians, I blame the men that are in power. If there were women in power, this will not be happening. Yes, I said what I said. How can a country that is rich in petroleum be selling that petroleum back to the white man and buying it back at 3 times the price that they've sold it? I need answers. But anyway, let's park that for now. The fact that the university has asked the students to leave because the currency has plummeted, I'm sure that is discrimination, because if they're able to pay the debt, which some of them have paid, then why can't they stay in the university? I'm sure that is a big discrimination that is happening right there. And I think that is bang out of order. As a fellow Nigerian, I do not appreciate that. I don't think that is right. And I don't think that the country's currency has anything to do with whether or not they can pay for their education. It makes literally no sense. And then now back to the initial point. Nigerians, I love you guys, you know, my people. But we're going to have to do something about this. Why is the Naira plummeting every single day? It's going down. What's that and what's that? It makes absolutely no sense. Like I said, we need to put women in power and get these men out. Because these old politicians, they're corrupt and they keep on making sure that the country is driven into the ground. The only thing that they care about is their own pockets. I would love to live in Nigeria, but I can't, because it's lawless and there's no structure, and the money is God in that country. Diddy would thrive there. Anyway, speaking of Diddy, next story. Ciao. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Diddy is a monster. I've been saying it for years, and I'm very happy that it's finally coming out. Now, obviously, I'm sure you guys have seen the video that went viral of Diddy attacking Cassie in the hotel walkway or pathway, whatever. Let's first of all talk about that. The fact that this man ran out of his hotel room in a public space with his belly just jiggling and came out to beat up Cassie and dragged her, kicked her, whatever, in a public hallway just goes to show you lack of care that this man has. He literally feels like he is God. He can do anything. And that means that he's been doing this for years to multiple people. Now, when he punched Cassie and kicked her and whatever, the poor girl just laid there. Do you know what that is? Another day, another punch. He had been doing this for years. And she just thought, do you know what? Let me just lay here and get this over and done with, because this man is going to keep giving me goosebumps. If I try and fight back, it's probably going to be much worse than it is now. Animal. Animal is what I can say. Because why would you do that? Why would you do that? And if that can happen out in public, how much more things are happening behind closed doors? Everything that that woman said in that civil lawsuit is factual, and no one can tell me otherwise. I want to hear from the people that were saying, trying to bring a black man down. No, they're just trying to bring a black... Where are you guys now? This man said in a statement, these are all lies set out against me. I did not commit any of these crimes. This is just somebody looking for a payday. And then proceeded to give us this, for lack of a better word, bullshit apology.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you gotta do that. I was fucked up. I mean, I hit rock bottom. but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy, and go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was disgusted then and I'm disgusted now. Story for the gods and sorry for yourself, yeah? Not once in this apology did he mention Cassie or apologize to Cassie directly. Nobody wants your apology. You didn't beat us, you beat her. You lied about beating her. So why are you apologizing to us? Animal, disgusting, nasty. After about a couple days, Cassie broke her silence in regards to the apology and she didn't actually really refer to the apology. She just kind of referred to the fact that now everybody's aware that this did happen to her, because obviously there were so many people in the comments saying they're trying to bring a black man down. And she responded to that just saying that believe people when they first come out. I really want to talk about that because I think it's very easy to talk about things that you aren't a part of or you've never experienced, and by the grace of God, you will never experience. But when someone says that they've been abused in whatever capacity, it's not for you to tell them that they haven't been. You cannot eradicate somebody's experience because you haven't been a part of that. Being abused is not something that you can just come out the next day and say. Sometimes it takes months, sometimes it takes weeks, sometimes it takes years. You can't tell somebody when they should come out and say it, because there's a lot of comments where people are like, why is it only coming out now? Why is she only saying it now? Why are these people only speaking now? Think about the position that Cassie was in at the time. Her words against this mega multi-millionaire, this mogul, this big industry giant. Who's gonna believe her? And as you clearly saw, he ran through the corridor in his little towel in a public space with cameras all around and still didn't care because money talks, and he knew that. So if she came out and started talking about her experiences, how could he not shut her down? So I just employ people to speak with wisdom. I know that wisdom isn't something that a lot of you guys have, but try and attain it. When people come out and speak about their experiences, it's because now they feel ready. Now they've done the healing. Now they want to speak about it. It's not for you to come and tell them, why did it take you so long? You don't have the authority to say that, okay? So all my love to Cassie. I mean, I don't know if she'll ever see this, but if she does, we're sending you so much love. And obviously there's a lot more victims that are gonna come out now that this man's career is going under the water, as it should. Hashtag cancel Diddy. Moving on. So we're back to the pocket watching, and now it's Molly-Mae's turn. So Molly-Mae allegedly booked a flight for her friends on a private jet and then booked a flight for her sister with Ryanair. Now I'm judging because Ryanair shit, sorry. But if it was another commercial flight, then it's fine. Just Ryanair is just, ugh. But apart from that, why are we watching people's pockets? And it's usually the jobless people that haven't got anything to do. I'm sorry, but it is. What's your concern with who she booked a flight for and what flight she booked? What's your own? Let the girl live her life. If she wanted to book a flight for her sister in Ryanair, at least she booked a flight for her sister. Can you people book a flight for your family? No. You can't even book a cab. I don't think it's any of you guys that should be talking about who should be booking what and what they should be booking. Let the girl live her life. And that is the problem with the internet. You guys always have an opinion on things that don't concern you. Says the girl giving opinions about things that don't concern me. But anyway, you guys are not, it's not your place to be talking about people's pockets. What's doing you people? And for all you pocket watchers, this is what Molly-Mae had to say.
Well, it is genuinely not worth it because it's all I hear about for the next few weeks. What I'll do is I'll just do a triathlon. You will see me swim, biking and running to my next location. There's so much going on in the world right now. A, why do people even care? And B, this is the prime example, not even...
I think the moral of the story is everybody should just mind their own business. Mind your own pockets. If you can afford to get a private jet, get the private jet. If you can afford to pay for your sister to go on Ryanair, then pay for your sister to go on Ryanair. Actually, can we just not use Ryanair? Maybe EasyJet will be better. But face your front and focus on your focus. Next story. Pastor Toby. Pastor Toby. Pastor Toby. How many times did I call your name? 3 good times. First of all, before I even get into this story, why are we calling this man pastor still? Why are we still referring to this man as a pastor? Is this not the same man that said, who is Jesus? Who is Jesus? I don't talk about Jesus. I don't think Jesus would be happy if his pastors were saying, who is Jesus? So from now on, I'm going to say, Mr. Toby. Mr. Toby, what is this? What is What is the benefit of this is my question. I mean, first of all, obviously, I've been very, very vocal that I am not a supporter of SPAC Nation. I don't really understand the essence of what they do. But so now you're doing a march of 1 million ladies, but what is the essence of the march is my point. Is it like a Christian thing? Is it a business thing? Like, what is actually happening here? I'm still very, very shocked that SPAC Nation is still in operation. I know they've changed their name to Nationwide or Nation Family or whatever it is, but I don't understand why it's still in operation. And they're still scamming people till this day. Why is this still being allowed? Why? Now, Daily Mail went on to speak about SPAC Nation and the fact that it's been shut down because they do fraudulent activities. I mean, this has been spoken about for years. I think it's been 10 years now that we've been speaking about SPAC Nation. Oh, now they're still operating. Pastor Toby, whatever you're putting in that your holy water that you're giving your congregation member is powerful, because I don't understand how you're still operating after all these years. But anyway, Pastor Toby now comes back and says, gives a rebuttal to the Daily Mail. This is what he had to say.
We all know that Daily Mail is a racist organization set up against black success, and their ratings are extremely low. It's unbelievable. But the black person working there, the white man system will not help you. Come and walk on the winning side. 2,000 girls on the street. After all these years of Pastor Toby's this and that, professional medical doctors, experts, PhD, Imperial University graduate and alumni. I think that's a movement a black person should be proud of. Let me give you a job in your either Daily Mail or whatever is organization. The job is you should ask them to give you a file to write about why after 5-6 years nobody has been charged for anything. Why? The allegations are tough, they're jokes. I'm still here in Europe on the street. Mind your business. I love the black community forever. They're the leaders. Thank you.
So Pastor Toby's talking about the Daily Mail doesn't have good numbers and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, he has jobs for people. I mean, apply for the jobs at your own risk. But who am I? Just a lady on the internet. Obviously, I don't know anything. If you want to apply for these jobs, this is something that you can do if you want to. But I just want to understand, and the question will always still remain, why is SPAC Nation still operating? Let's move on. So Rishi Sunak has announced that we will be having a general election on July the 4th. Very random day that he clearly just plucked out of the sky. And yeah, we'll be able to vote for whatever party we want in power.
Earlier today, I spoke with His Majesty the King to request the dissolution of Parliament. The King has granted this request, and we will have a general election on the 4th of July. This election will take place at a time when the world is more dangerous than it has been since the end of the Cold War. Putin's Russia is waging a brutal war in Ukraine, and will not stop there if he succeeds. That war has also made it all too clear.
We are all aware that this country is day by day going into the ground. As my mum would say, the UK is not what it used to be. This place is not what it used to be. It's finished. So I don't know much about politics, nor do I care to get involved because that shit is rigged. However, for those of you that are involved or want to be involved or want to educate yourselves more on the elections, then you could go to shadeborough.com and find out a lot more information, or you can go to whatever electoral borough that you're at and find out more information, whatever MP is running or whatever the politics of it all is. You guys do your research and make sure you vote well. This country is definitely going into the ground, so your vote should help. But do your research and all the best of luck to whoever you're voting for. I'm not for Rishi Sunak. I don't believe in his agenda. I'm allowed to say this because it's freedom of speech. But yeah, moving on. So there's a man called Young Spray. I'm not really familiar with him, but I've been hearing his name here and there. He has a podcast called RTM, which stands for Realer Than Most. Allegedly. How this man came to my attention was when he was cussing, that time that he was cussing Nella Rose when she was on Celebrity, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and then he was going back and forth with Mimi the blogger. But he's going viral again for this clip.
I know a young mum that's struggling at the moment, and I just want, like, you know, I don't know, like, even if there's any young mums out there that are struggling, I am. That want to reach out to me or DM me or want to talk at any time, you can.
Not any time. You're busy sometimes.
No, but I know.
Not any time.
Do you know
what do you want? Just bare DMs from people?
No, not bare DMs. Stop it, Spray. Stop it.
Cool.
Right?
Well, I know what it's like to
have I know what it's like to have a baby, and I have help.
Yes.
And I know that there's mums out there with no help. Do you understand?
They knew what they were getting. They knew what they were signing up to.
No, they don't. Not every situation. One thing as well, when you make plans, God laugh. Yeah? You don't always know how it's going to work out. Right? And I know that there's a lot of mums and they're struggling, and some of those struggles, it leads to a neglect of the children, like they're not looking after them properly. And I've been thinking about it a lot, and it was just on my heart, so I just wanted to say.
Because they're too busy in the festivals and that.
No, Spray, stop it, man.
All right, cool.
I believe this lady's name is Cream. Sorry if I got it wrong. She's trying to have a very vulnerable moment, talking about young mothers and how she would love to help them because she's noticed that there is a lot of young mothers that are struggling at the moment. To which Young Spray, I don't know why this man is called Young Spray, because when you hit a certain age, don't you drop the young? Shouldn't it just be Spray? Because allegedly he's in his 40s. I don't know this man, but Spray, I'm gonna say Spray. Spray decided to chime in on the conversation. Clearly his intrusive thoughts were escaping him. Now, I've seen a lot of content from this man, and it's always very, very emotionally unintelligent in my personal, humble, and usually accurate opinion. I do not understand how a woman is trying to show emotion, trying to give advice to young mothers, and you think that's the time to give your unsolicited advice. Why? She said she wants to help young mothers, so do it then. Sir, why was that necessary? Now, I know that common sense is not common, but I think now would be the time to try and get some. If somebody is having a vulnerable moment, there was tissue in her hand, she's patting her eyes, clearly she's getting emotional. Why would that be the time for you to chime in and be saying some silly things? He then proceeded to say that young mothers are struggling because they go to festivals. Spray, I don't know you and you don't know me, but that was a very silly thing to say. You thought that in that vulnerable moment that your co-host was speaking about, that would be the time for you to mention that young mothers are going festivals and that's why they're struggling. It's just giving very unemotionally intelligent. It's giving stunted growth. It's giving it's giving Peter Pan syndrome. I think you're a big man who needs to assess the room and understand that when people are having these type of conversations and people are showing vulnerability, that's not the time for you to share your jokes or your intrusive thoughts or saying things that are very irrelevant. I think a lot of growing up needs to be done here. Like I said, this man's allegedly in his 40s. I would expect better for a man that is, you know, nearly half of a century old. Let's do better. This is not it. I said it before, this was the same man that was cussing Nella Rose, a woman that he has never seen in his life, but was continuously trolling her like she stole his money, like she smacked his face. I don't understand. Do you have a problem with black women? I'm just saying, you might not. This is just a standard question. Do you? Anyway, that's my 2 pence on the situation. Let's try and do better in when people are trying to have emotional moments, uncandid moments, vulnerable moments. If you are willing to have an emotionally intelligent conversation where you show some empathy and you show that you are in fact a grown man, because it's not giving that at the moment, you know what I mean? Feel free to come and have a conversation. Let's do it, because I'm really confused as to what's happening right now. It's just not giving mature man. But that's just my 2 pence. Who am I? Just a lady on the internet.